Many people think estate planning is just for later in life or only matters when you're much, much older. Think again. Waiting too long could mean losing out on millions in tax savings and protecting wealth for generations to come. That's why today we're talking about the Optimized Gift Trust, also known as the OGT. And I'm Rich Smith. I help wealthy individuals like you understand how to preserve wealth while staying ahead of ever-changing tax laws. In this video, I'll walk you through everything you need to know about OGTs, how they work, the benefits they offer, and why you need to act soon before some major tax changes happen. Whether you're new to estate planning or already exploring advanced strategies, this video is for you. An Optimized Gift Trust, or OGT, is a powerful tool for people who want to save on estate taxes while keeping some control over their assets. Here's the problem it solves. It is very possible for wealthy individuals to lose up to 40% of their estate to federal taxes when they are trying to pass down their assets to their heirs. The OGT helps fix that. It allows you to transfer assets out of your taxable estate while you're alive and then protect those assets from major taxes, legal risks, and even creditors. Now, what makes the OGT really special and different from other trusts is that it's optimized. This means it combines the best features of traditional trusts like generation skipping and dynasty trusts with even more flexibility and control. Some might think of it as a way to own nothing but control everything. And for the sake of this video, I want to take an even deeper perspective. You see, once you place your assets into an OGT, they are no longer considered part of your estate for tax purposes. But here's the kicker. You still have the power to manage, invest, and even access these assets within legal limits. Now, I hinted that major tax changes might be coming very soon. So using an OGT now lets you lock in today's higher tax exemptions before they're cut in half in the near future. Bottom line, the OGT is about protecting wealth, minimizing taxes, and securing your family's financial future. So let's look at some of the incredible benefits that make the OGT one of the smartest tools for estate planning. Number one, huge tax savings. One of the biggest advantages of an OGT is the ability to avoid that 40% federal estate tax. When you transfer assets into the trust, they are no longer part of your taxable estate. This means your heirs won't face hefty taxes on those assets, and that could potentially save your family millions of dollars. Plus, any growth on the assets inside the trust is also shielded from estate taxes. Number two, asset protection. An OGT doesn't just save taxes, it also helps keep your assets safe. Once inside the trust, those assets are protected from lawsuits, creditors, and even divorcing spouses of your heirs. Think about it. This helps ensure that your hard-earned wealth stays with your family, no matter what life throws at them. Number three, maximum control. With an OGT, you still get to call the shots. You can set the rules that manage the trust's investments. We're talking asset swaps and even direct how the money is used. Need liquidity? You can lend or sell assets to the trust. This level of flexibility is what makes the OGT stand out from other more traditional trusts. Number four, multi-generational wealth. The OGT can often be structured as a generation skipping trust, meaning it can pass assets to your grandchildren without additional estate taxes. Again, this makes sure your wealth benefits future generations without massive tax burdens. And number five, privacy and security. Features like silent trust provisions mean beneficiaries don't even have to know about the trust until a specific time. Something like that can help maintain privacy and prevent premature access to funds. Big picture, the OGT is more than just a tax savings tool. It's a comprehensive estate planning tool that protects and grows your wealth. Up next, let's explore how these trusts are set up and why their structure is key to their success. We always need to recognize the boundaries of all the IRS rules and stay within those. So let's break down the OGT structure piece by piece. First, we have the irrevocable setup. So once you transfer assets into the OGT, they are no longer legally part of your estate. This means they're protected from the 40% estate tax, lawsuits, and creditors, and therefore that irrevocable nature is what makes this trust tax efficient and secure. Next, we have donor control features. This means even though you've gifted the assets, you're not handing over all the control. For example, the OGT allows you to manage investments. So you can have the power to decide how the trust funds are invested, including sometimes foregoing more traditional diversification rules. Swap assets. So you can exchange assets inside the trust for property of equal value, and this gives you more flexibility without creating tax issues. Replace trustees. So if you ever feel the trustee is no longer the right fit, it is possible to make changes. Next, another feature of the OGT structure is something known as a spousal life access trust, also known as a SLAT. This means if you're married, the OGT includes options to benefit your spouse. An example would be they can receive distributions, donate assets, or even adjust the trust beneficiaries. This is a good thing because it ensures your spouse has financial security while still keeping the trust tax efficient. And one of the last important pieces of the OGT structure is those long-term benefits. Specifically, OGTs often include those generation skipping provisions I mentioned, meaning assets can indeed pass to your grandchildren without being taxed again. Oh, and there's even these cool spendthrift protections to ensure the beneficiaries don't misuse the funds. The reason I say this is cool is it's basically a feature designed to protect the beneficiary from themselves, as well as creditors and other outside factors. So overall, the OGT structure blends estate planning with tax savings and the flexibility to adjust everything as your needs change. Now that you know how it's built, let's see what it looks like in real life. I have an example of a couple named Susan and Mark. They're in their 60s and have a crazy high net worth of $25 million. And of course, they want to preserve their wealth for their children and their grandchildren, and they want to minimize taxes. So with the help of their estate planner, they created an optimized gift trust and transferred $15 million into it. Now, of course, that number wasn't pulled out of thin air. The trust was set up to take full advantage of the approximate $27 million in federal gift tax exemption for married couples. And that's at the time of this recording. And by doing this, they are locking in that higher tax exemption before it's expected to be reduced very soon. Now, in this example with Susan and Mark, over the next 20 years, their trust grows to $30 million, all tax-free. Without the OGT, their family would have to face a 40% estate tax on that growth, resulting in over $10 million in taxes. Instead, the entire amount stayed intact for their heirs. Even better, the OGT allowed Susan and Mark to maintain some control throughout the rest of their lifetime. For example, they set the rules for the trust investments, asset swaps, and even provided funds for those grandchildren's education, all while keeping the rest of the trust secure. This case study shows how an OGT not only saves money, but also gives families the flexibility to meet their individualized, unique needs. First, you'll transfer assets into the trust. High growth assets expected to grow in value, like real estate or a business, are the best choices since their appreciation will happen tax-free inside the trust. Then, once the trust is funded, its assets are managed based on your instructions. You can direct investments to grow the trust, specify conditions for distribution to your beneficiaries, or even lend money to the trust to meet cash flow needs. And with those SLAT provisions I mentioned before, your spouse can access funds during his or her lifetime too, adding an extra layer of security there. Meanwhile, the trust structure ensures that your wealth is also protected from lawsuits and avoids that 40% federal estate tax. Now, we should take a look at the financial benefits of an OGT because those can be staggering, especially for high net worth families over the course of 20 or 30 years. For example, let's keep the numbers simple and say you transfer $10 million worth of business shares expected to double in value over the next 20 years. Without an OGT, that $10 million in growth could also face a 40% tax. But with the trust in place, the full $20 million is protected for your beneficiaries. So depending on your estate's size and asset performance, I'd say on average, OGTs can save families anywhere from $50 million to $300 million over the course of 30 years. And these are savings across generations. Now, I mentioned it before, but timing is everything when it comes to optimized gift trusts. Right now, at the time of this recording, federal gift and estate tax exemptions are at historic highs. But here's the catch. These exemptions are set to drop by more than half. Now, if and when this happens, that change means more and more families will face that 40% estate tax. Acting now lets you lock in today's higher limits and potentially save millions of dollars for your heirs. And the IRS has also already confirmed that gifts made before the law changes won't be clawed back, even if the exemptions decrease later. So this means you can secure your tax savings without fear of losing them down the line. And another reason to act now is the surge in demand for estate planning experts. As this deadline approaches, you could find yourself waiting, which means access to the right and best professionals all of a sudden is limited for you. What I'm saying is, don't leave this to chance. Start planning today to make the most of your assets and avoid unnecessary taxes. The optimized gift trust is a smart way to protect your wealth, secure your family's future, and save on taxes. If this is looking like something that would be a good fit for you and your family, then I'd encourage you to take action today. I'll leave a link in the description of this video to help you get on the right path. I'm Rich Smith, and I help wealthy individuals like you understand how to preserve wealth while staying ahead of ever-changing tax laws. And I'd love to hear from you, so leave me a comment about your thoughts on the OGT. Let me know what you want to see next covered on this channel.